what's going on, everyone? Choco here, and welcome back to another Choco's World. And today we've got ourselves a fun little thing. Now you might be like, okay, Choco, I'm ready for an item storage system. Yeah, about that. Well, so it turns out that basically, it's gonna happen. But look at all these oak logs I've collected. All right, see all those oak logs right there, and then I also put another chest down your home. But it was so many. It was so many oak logs, and it was too much. It was too much for one Choco to handle, and I had to say goodbye to it. So instead, and the reason was, it's just so much wood. It's so much wood to chop down, and I'm not like a lumberjack, all right? I have noodle arms. I can't handle that. So towards this end, I figured it was probably not just sensible, but probably just more efficient and just better all around for everyone if I go ahead and make the process simpler. Now you might be like, okay, well, how are you gonna make it simpler, Choco? Basically what I came to the conclusion of is I need to make a tree farm. For those of you who do not know like what I'm talking about when it comes to tree farms, they're usually this thing where you have pistons push along the oak logs that spawn in, and then they get moved along, and then they eventually get taken over to a place where they get destroyed by some form of explosion. It used to be back in the day with like withers. Now it's done via just like prime TNT that falls and just explodes everything. So that's what we're aiming for. But the thing about that farm is that also requires some other stuff. It will require some extra things like slime. That will definitely be one of the things that we need. One of the other things that we're going to be needing is going to end up being bone meal. It's really important because I need all the bone meal I can get in order to have the farm running, because obviously, or at least maybe it's not super obvious. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to fully automate a tree farm. You have to kind of sit there and manually plant the saplings. And also, perhaps more importantly, not only do you have to, put down the saplings, you also need a lot of bone meal to rock and roll with it. Now, there's other stuff like you have to have the saplings for, you have to have consistently a lot of saplings going through because you're going to be growing quite a bit of trees. You're also going to need redstone and stuff like that, but we're not worried about everything else, but we are worried about the bone meal. Okay, so you're probably sitting there thinking and scratching your head, you're like, but Choco, wasn't that the whole point of the zero tick farm? So you have like an ample amount of stuff for things like composting, and yeah, we had a decent amount of stuff, right? So the zero tick farm over there, you might be like, well, why doesn't that work? Well, it does work. It's just I would have to be here for a while, and it's kind of noisy. It's kind of loud. So this guy right here, it's not that it works poorly or anything. It works fine. Like we've done this, we've run it for a little bit. But number one, this one cannot keep up with a composter, which is kind of rough. Number two, it's also kind of just a pain. So what we're gonna be doing today is, courtesy of comment down in the YouTube comment section, and with some help from a video I was watching from an individual named Eagle Eye 621, we're going to actually go ahead and make ourselves a new cactus farm, which, if it goes well, it's going to be wild. And I do mean wild. It should be pretty crazy, because the way that it works, okay, so get this right, it dwarfs a zero tick, in that I think it's like 4 times was the amount that I remember reading, but it's some crazy high amount of like sugarcane or not bamboo, but sugarcane or cactus they can be growing, and it's really simple to make. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that with you guys today, and this is gonna be a no-cut episode because I'm hoping that this will actually be a fairly straightforward episode. I know that's like, wow, Choco, pretty ambitious for you to believe that you're going to do this like easily, especially when you don't have all the materials prepared. But yeah, I think it should be fairly straightforward. For this thing, you're going to want some form of building block. I personally would recommend you use glass. As explained also in Eagle Eye's video, it just lets you see what's going on, which I think is nice. But if you don't want to use glass, you can absolutely use any other solid block. I would also recommend that you bring into this 12 chests. This is not including the chest that you're going to be pulling inventory into. So that's a pretty important part, because some people are going to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to bring 12 chests and that's for my storage. No, that's just going to be for helping yourself along. Now, the 12 chests that you use are just placeholders, really. You're not really using them for anything. besides just kind of helping you situate things. But I find it easier to have the chest. If you are a cheapskate, which I completely understand, then yes, you may end up wanting to like go ahead and be like, yeah, maybe I don't, maybe I just kind of not. And if you're down for that, then fine. You can absolutely do this even with, I think, like one chest you can get away with. Hopper wise, I think you're gonna need mine carts with hoppers, right? And that's not gonna be super duper cheap, so just be aware of that. You're going to need 4 minecarts with hoppers. And then in addition to those minecarts with hoppers, you're going to need something in the ballpark of like 6 or something. 6, I think it's 6 hoppers. So just be aware that those are the things you're going to be needing going into this build. Because, of course, you're going to want to make sure that you have yourself something working. And of course, I almost forgot, of course, we're going to need a composter. So you probably want that. And if you want to automate the pulling out of compost, add on an extra hopper and probably like a chest or something. But again, you can use those placeholder chests for your storage, so it's not really that big of a deal. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and start crack-a-lacking here. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I'm going to need some irons and stuff like that, but all in all, it should be pretty well to do. I'm going to go ahead and just make this kind of in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to kind of flop this down. The reason why I'm just kind of being like willy-nilly about this is because I built this in my prototype world. It seemed really easy. Like I did it and I was like, oh yeah, that works pretty well. So I'm going to assume that it's going to just remain easy. I don't know why it would change in difficulty. So yeah, we're just gonna YOLO it and see what happens. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start things off with first defining like, hey, this is where I want my storage and stuff to be. So I'm gonna go and start this whole thing off just here. This should be fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a double chest right there, and then I'm gonna put a hopper into the top of this. Now at this particular point, you have yourselves just kind of what your basic situation is for yield composter. So we're going to go ahead and put one composty boy over there. And in truth, I guess I could do 2. Maybe that would be smart. Let's try 2. I'm going to try the dual approach and we'll see how that goes. So let me make real quick another one of these little guys. Let me toss out some sticks here. Let me get... Okay, there's another composter right there. Very nice. All right, so I think it's going to look something along the lines of this. So I'm going to go ahead. I put that down, right? I'm going to go ahead, take some glass. And this is just temporary, like scaffolding and stuff, so don't really stress too much about it. And I'm just going to make these hoppers like so, right? So you're going to want the hoppers to feed in just like that. And then we're going to go ahead. And so you're going to be looking at a situation where this is going to be connected to the sand. And then you're going to have this. So your chest 1 block away and then up. Just remember that that's going to be there. And then in a very similar fashion, you're going to go ahead and put another whatever you want. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and do our storage. But we're going to just do this right here. Again, all these blocks, all the glass blocks I'm putting down right now are temporary, so don't stress too much about them. All right, and then a composter, and then a hopper into there, hopper into here, okay, and a hopper into there. Beautiful. I'm going to be incredibly annoyed if I'm being a dum-dum right now, which is completely possible, which is the problem. All right, so let's see. So we have those all set up now. Okay, cool. So we have our kind of composting and collection system all done. Pretty darn cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the main event. I'm a little nervous because I feel like we're going to screw something up here. I actually have exactly the number of hoppers I need, which is incredibly odd and very fortuitous. But we're going to go ahead and reach into our bag of iron, which is becoming excessively full. We're racing against time. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take ourselves... Ooh, and we're actually running low on the chesty boys. That should be okay, though. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and actually make just 4 of these mine carts. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just slap that onto there. Okay, and just like this, we're gonna make 4 mine carts with hoppers. So I don't lose my mental sanity, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop that off in here for right now, because my inventory be super full. All right, and then, oh, and yes, you are also gonna need some rails as well, so just don't forget that as well, because I completely forgot to mention that, and that would have been bad. All right, so first order of business. So you're gonna want to make sure that you are building this up maybe about here. So maybe like right, you want to put your boat down, I think, at the level of these collection hoppers. I'm not super sure, so I might need to redo this again at some point. But I think it's gonna be something like this. And then I think, oh wait, hold on. I lied. That was a filthy, rotten lie. I'm so sorry for lying to you all. You will need a chest here on the bottom. That looks right. Okay. And then I'm going to put a boat right smack dab on the middle. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead, scaffold out. Put another boat right here, smack dab in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and break away these blocks. And so the boats should land on top of each other just like so. All right, pretty cool. Next thing we're going to end up doing is we're going to go ahead and take ourselves our little glass boys. And we're going to do some witchcraft here. So I'm going to go ahead and scaffold out like this. And I'm going to show you guys why this is kind of like a weird thing. So it's called shaky sand, right? Because your end product is going to basically be like the sand that's like freaking out a little bit. And the reason why that happens is because like the sand isn't quite sure if it's a block or not. It's like, where do I belong? So we're going to go ahead and just make use of this. Oh no, I need the mine carts. I screwed up already. Come on. All right, let's go ahead, grab the mine carts real quick. Boop, 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 boop. All right. And then go ahead, scaffold up. All right, very cool. And then all we're going to do right here is I'm going to make these 2 rails, and I'm going to take this minecart with a hopper, and I'm going to shove this thing right on over the edge. Oh, wait, no, I screwed it up. Aha. Now, remember those 12 chests I told you guys about? Yeah, this is the part where they come into play, and I completely forgot because I am absent-minded. All right, so let's go ahead and make ourselves these nice chesty boys. All right, so we now have 12 chesty boys. You'll see why 12 was kind of like the number I thought was a good recommendation. All right, let me continue to make even more glass scaffolding that I'll have to break later. Future Choco problems, though. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break these out. That's fine. That's going to sit awkwardly in there. Oh, we have a hopper in here. Wait, why do we have a hopper? I don't know why we have a hopper in here. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead, take a chest, and we're going to scaffold up 3. And I'm going to ask you guys to do this on each of the corners like that. Now, you might think I'm crazy. You might be like, Choco, you've lost your mind. But just watch. You'll hopefully... Oh, wait. That's what happened. They broke apart. Weird. I didn't know that was a thing. All right, so take your minecart with a hopper, and you're going to shove that boy right off the edge, and you're going to pretend that you're Scar, and then as it sits happily over there, you're going to notice it's kind of like floating-ish, and that's because it's sitting on the very edge of the boat. It doesn't quite understand that it's like, oh, there's probably enough space there. So we're going to do the same exact thing over here. Just give it that good old push, and that one's a much prettier one. I approve of that one way more. And also, you saw that just now all my items kind of vanished in. That's what we're hoping for in this whole situation. So we're going to go ahead and just echo that on this side. So let me go ahead and put these down. Give that a good old push. And then just go ahead and flip that on over. Go to this side. And then give that a good old push. All right, awesome, cool. Now, with all this said and done, we're going to go on to the main event, sort of. We're going to go ahead and take our sand, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop one on here, one on there, one on top of there, and then we're going to go nuts and drop it from over there. Alrighty, cool. Now, you might be sitting there asking yourself, Okay, that was kind of weird. What's next? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and break these things of glass. And at this particular point, we're going to go ahead and move up by 1, right? So imagine I plant a cactus here. We don't want anything next to that cactus, right? We want it to be 1 above. So we want it to be flush with the uppermost level of chests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 1. And then I'm just going to go ahead. And obviously, if you are bigger brain than me, you don't have to do it this way. You can just kind of simplify. I've never fallen on these before. I'm just going to jump off. Nothing happened, right? Are we cool? I think we're cool. That scared me. I don't know why I got so startled. All right, let's go ahead and wabba, 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 wabba fet. All right, up we go. All right, very nice. All right, so maybe we don't walk across that. Maybe that's the lesson to be learned here. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and build like this. And then at this particular point, it's turning nighttime, so I'm getting a little bit spooked. But I'm going to go ahead and break off the very top chests. And you'll see why in a moment, because we're going to have to put some glassy boys there, which is fine. All right, and then let me go ahead, pull the rest of the glass. And you're just going to make this kind of pattern, kind of like a waffle. All right, so put glass on top of the chests and then get that done. And you should be looking at something without this random little scaffolding bit here, right? But you'll be looking at kind of like 4 plus signs. Break the center. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and build 1 thing of glass on top. So you're looking at something that looks a little bit like this. Very cool. All right, so now we're done. I know, that's crazy, right? But of course, I'm just joking. There's one more step, which of course is gonna be our ever so lovely cactus. But first, I'm gonna sleep away the night so I don't die, because I have a genuine terrified fear that I'm gonna end up dying one of these days, because I'm gonna forget to sleep too long, and we're gonna get ambushed, I'm gonna go AFK or something, and terrible, terrible things. All right, so all this is done. And you might be like, okay, I want to see it, Choco. I want to see this thing pop off. I want to see this thing go absolutely ham taro. I want to... Ah! Bro, not cool. Not cool at all. Here I am about to do my big reveal, and then you just come trumpeting like a nut. Like, come on, man. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break the scaffolding down a little bit here, just so I can see over the top. But there's also one more thing you're going to do. Clean up the chests, because you're not going to be able to put anything down, because these things are technically invading the privacy and personal space of the cacti if you were trying to put them down. So we're going to go ahead and just collect those bad boys real quick. I can't collect this one because I am too short. Hashtag the short life. All right, let me go ahead, pull those out. Very nice. Okay, so let me go from the other side first. So I'm just going to pop myself up here, and I'm literally just going to pop cacti down, and already you'll see that they're growing really quickly. And you are probably thinking to yourself, okay, go on. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put down another 2. We've just doubled our rates. It's wild, it's crazy, and it's amazing. And I know. So you might be thinking to yourself, this is too much. But you know what? We're all about this life. We're all about this wild and wacky life that is known as ridiculous cactus farms. But specifically, this is going to be really useful and helpful for us, because you're going to notice that we already have some bone meal coming in, which is really cool. Now, of course, there are different modifications you can make for this. For example, there's absolutely nothing that prevents you for, let's say, taking the hoppers, combining them into one spot, and then running your compost bins that way. And you can kind of make modifications as you see fit. You can also expand this out, so it's quite a ways bigger. I'd imagine that it's modular in the sense that you could probably tile it next to one another. So that would probably work. I don't really know what the impact is on a server. I would imagine that this is kind of in the in-between world. I'm really skeptical about doing too many things involving loose entities like these boats and minecarts, but this made sense for where we are right now. If it causes a lot of performance issues, I might rip it down. But for right now, that's it. A simple and really easy to make, high efficiency cactus farm that's really it's cheap. And it's quiet. Can we just appreciate how quiet that is? And it's super quick. It's efficient, it's cheap, it's quiet, it's everything you could possibly want and need. And honestly, it's pretty darn cool. And I mean, like, look at this. We're already starting to get a good bit of bone meal in here. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, but as long as it's in the loaded chunks, it should always be running as well. So you can go about your business doing other things and let this run. Again, I do not know what the impact is on a server, but that's it. That's it. We have a real, honest to goodness, short episode, and we got a lot of good things done. And I mean, it's not, I guess, a lot, but it's one specific thing done quite well. So anyways, yeah, I know some people are complaining in Twitch chat already, like, my eyes. Please, just don't look at them. Just here, look at this. Just look at that number go up. Just listen. It's ASMR. Just listen. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I know, right? It's a short episode. Who'd thought? But anyways, thank you very much for watching this episode of Choco's World. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like rating down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Notification bells, of course, if you'd like. Comments always do help me out. And if you guys are like, oh, this is really cool or whatever, be sure to, of course, check out Eagle Eye's video. I think on his video, there's also like the link to the original Reddit thread where he found it. So if you can just go ahead and show some love for those folks, I know that they would appreciate it, or at least I would assume they appreciate it. I hope they don't dislike it. But yeah, either way, cool stuff. And of course, for those of you who are wondering, it's like, well, Choco, I don't really have a need for this. Can I use this for anything else? Absolutely, you could. You could absolutely do this with, let's say, sugarcane. Don't really think that this is going to work with a whole heck of a lot outside of that, but when it comes to sugarcane and bamboo, or not bamboo, darn it, I keep on saying bamboo. When it comes to sugarcane and cacti, this is a pretty good way about it. So pretty darn cool. Anyways, as always, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful and safe day. And until next time, everyone. Oh, wait, we didn't do our recap. We didn't do our recap. Okay, so we have ourselves a cactus farm behind us. The next step is going to be that we need to make a tree farm. And then the tree farm is going to need us to grind some slimes and stuff like that because we're going to need more sticky pistons, I believe. I don't think there's any slime blocks. But it should, I think it's just all sticky pistons pretty much. But anyways, we should be able to make that. And then that's going to be kind of, if you guys remember, if you watched How to Minecraft Season 6, it's going to use the blasting component that we used with the concrete maker. And we're going to be instead adding a different module for the tree side of things. So I think we're going to not build this in spawn chunks, but we're going to like build it outwards. And then what we're going to do in addition to building it outwards, I think we might be able to use the blasting chamber for anything, ? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what ends up going on with that, but certainly something that could be quite interesting. But yeah, so that's current game plan. Once all those things are done, we can work on our sorting system. I know. It's like, the dream of getting a sorting system early is gone, but no, it's not. We still have time. It's still, as I would consider it to be an early game storage system as long as we get it before episode 20. I know that's like kind of nuts for some people, but I think episode 20 is a goal to aspire to. My life's a mess, okay? Don't judge me. Anyways, as always, and most importantly, take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a wonderful and safe day. And until next time, ciao for now. I didn't screw that up. What?